I was looking out my window and I had a thought that I found interesting. You could look out two different windows in the same room, even. And yet, while the view itself can be completely different, the level of familiarity could be the same. That reminds me of how in life, it's easy to see two completely different things, yet think they are the same because they are both familiar. Maybe we don't think they're the same, but we feel the same way about them. It could be situations where, let's say someone's bothering you, right? Let's say someone's bothering you for whatever reason, XYZ reasons, doesn't matter. And then you look around weeks later and you notice someone else bothering someone else, right? You're completely detached from a situation, but one person bothering another, and yet you start reacting in a certain way. Yeah, you could put yourself in their shoes. Yet the reason that one person is bothered is completely different to yours. The reactions are completely different to yours. Everything about that situation can be completely different to yours, except because it's familiar, because you recognize it, you start to feel a certain way. And then how do you react? How do you show up after that? For me, it's an example of how easily I can fall into old patterns without even realizing it. You know, it's like looking out a different window that's still familiar. I have two windows in my rooms, right? One, two. I got two windows. They have completely different views on completely separate walls. And yet I could look out both those windows and feel a certain level of familiarity. Right? In that same way, so many things happen in my life, so many things pop up that remind me of another feeling, another moment. Why does this matter? Like, so what? What's even the point of what I'm trying to say? The point is to just be aware. Be aware of yourself reacting to a completely new experience, yet reacting in a way that you always react in, right? We have patterns, we've got habits, and sometimes they're hurting us. Sometimes they suck. Granted, sometimes they're amazing. When we do something amazing, we don't give ourselves credit for it. Rarely do we give ourselves credit for it. We just attribute it to life and who we are. Yet when we do something wrong or do something that we don't like, we bully ourselves for it. We beat ourselves up. Or we continue doing things that make it even worse. Right? Pattern interruption. Interrupting a pattern. Being in a pattern of whether it's reacting or speaking or noticing. Interrupt it. Change it. Change your state. Change how you show up. Do something different. You expect to do one thing. Why don't you flip it on its head? Do the complete opposite. Do something that makes you uncomfortable. That's what I've actually been enjoying these past few days. Anytime I have an idea, and especially when I notice myself getting tense, getting like a tightness in my chest, maybe sweating a little bit, my heart rate goes up. Whenever I feel that, I hyper focus on it and I do it. Because I want the reason that I don't do something to be because it won't serve me, or it doesn't serve me anymore. Not because I'm afraid. Not because I use boredom as an excuse to not do something because I'm afraid. If you're like me, you've done that. If you're like me, you say, I don't need to do that. I've done it a million times before. I don't need to keep going, right? And it might not look like fear, but I'll take you down a little journey. You may say, it's boring. I've done it a million times before. I don't have to do this, right? Why is it boring, right? Why is it all right for you to miss it? Well, it's because I'm missing out. I'm not going to miss out on anything. It's not helping me that much, right? It's not affecting me. It's not whatever, right? I'm bored. I want to do something that's exciting. You could ask yourself, why do you have to do something that's exciting all the time? Why can't you do something that's boring? Something that's helped you in the past, right? All right, it's boring. It's boring. You want to do something exciting. When you answer the question, why does everything have to be exciting? It could be, well, it's like, I don't want to waste this moment. I want to have fun. I want to experience life. I want to go crazy, right? Why is that important? Because if I don't experience life, I feel like I'm wasting it. Why is it important to not feel like you're wasting life? Why is it important to you? Well, it's important for me not to waste life. Why is it important for me not to waste life? Because then there's no point. If I'm wasting life, there's no point. Why should I be here? Why is it important to be here? It's because I want to love. I want to experience love. I want to see it. I want to give it. I want to feel it. I want to love it. I want to love love. It's very simple, not always easy, but simple, to go down a path of questioning that gets you to the real core of why you're doing something. Or, more simply put, it gets you to the emotion of your thought, of your belief. Because I could promise you this, every single thought that you have, every single belief that you follow, every single action that you take is in order to feel a certain way. You are in search of an emotion. Or sometimes it's a lack thereof, right? Sometimes you are running away from fear. You don't want to feel uncomfortable. Sometimes you want to feel, comfort. You want to feel safety. You want to feel love. You want to feel excitement. Whatever it is. You always want to feel something. Feel something. Sometimes you want to feel peace. Sometimes you want to feel a little excitement and chaos, right? It ranges, it changes. But the point is, we're always looking for some feeling. We're always looking for something. That's why knowing the emotion that you're chasing behind your thoughts and your actions is so valuable. It's so worth it. See, when I went down that questioning just there, that was real, right? It actually fully started in my head. I was creating a hypothetical, but then I found myself genuinely answering. Towards the end, you were getting my authentic emotions. That's why I don't want to feel boredom, right? That's why I want things to be exciting. And there's importance and truth to what I was saying. And there's a middle ground, which is, do the things that help, do the things that work for you, do the things that are important for you, and make them exciting. There is a middle ground. if you're doing the same thing again and again every single day, the solution is not to avoid it. It's not to end it. It's to change it. It's to replace it. It's to make it something new. I used to journal all the time. And at some point, I guess I did get bored of journaling, right? I didn't get that release from it. Then I stopped for a while, and I found that wasn't the solution either. Stopping was not the solution. I didn't get what I was looking for by not doing it anymore. I did for a bit because I was like, ooh, novelty, like I have a new schedule, a new routine, yada, yada, yada. But I lost the benefits of what journaling was giving me. But then I transformed it into what we now see are these videos. Me showing up in front of this camera, uploading every single day, because I get a similar benefit, a very similar benefit to speaking my mind. Whatever's in my mind, in my heart, I get to let it all out. But I also get this excitement factor when I post it. Like when I get to be vulnerable and then share that with other people. And people get to see it. They get to maybe see themselves in it. That partly gets me excited because I also never know who's going to watch it, who's going to comment, who's going to like it. I never know who's going to follow or subscribe or who's going to completely block it. I don't know. And that's part of why I love doing this, but also why I show up in short form, long form. I am finding new ways to make it exciting because I love to do this and I know it helps me so much. I found my middle ground for why I don't journal and what I do now. I found why I'm doing what I'm doing, why all of this matters to me. I like how I started all of this talking about like familiarity and being familiar with something, and I have no clue how I got here. I mean, I could easily find out why. It's called rewatching this recording while editing. But that's the thing about my mind and my heart. You know, part of like making my recordings more like me, right? Part of that is seeing how my train of thought how it jumps so much and how it sometimes doesn't make sense how I got from point A to point D because nobody really sees point B and C in my head. You kind of get it. Like you're seeing it. It doesn't always make sense. But sometimes it doesn't have to. Sometimes it doesn't have to. Oh, rarely does it have to. Why do I have to make sense to anyone? I know why. It's called building a brand and getting a following. No. The less you make sense, the more people can try to make sense of you in their heads. You take up more space. Don't make sense. Make just enough sense that they can understand you somewhat. But don't make too much sense that people feel like robots around you, or they feel like they're just listening to a story or an audiobook or whatever. Bring them along for the journey. Don't make sense and let people make the journey for you. Let people guess why you're doing what you're doing, you know? Guess why I'm doing all of this. I've said it a million times, but maybe you and I don't even know the real reason. Maybe there's something so much deeper that neither you and I have ever even thought about. I'm always having what seem like novel thoughts. So you know what? A year from now, when you're potentially rewatching this or even watching this for the first time, it might be even longer than a year from now, right? We're all watching this right now, like early on, but eventually it'll be way later. My reasons will have changed. My why has changed. Damn, look at these. Look at this vein. All I did was lay down, bruh. I think I'm gonna call it here. I'm feeling good. Technically, I still have to record my minute vid for the gram, for the TikTok, for the YouTube, you know, my three peak platforms. So let's go do that. Let's go do that real quick. But you'll see this episode later. Or I guess you're watching this episode now, so you could go back and watch those shorts later. Yeah. Let's work on it together. Anywho, I'm not making sense. And I hope neither are you. Well, we could not make sense together. Until then, until next time, just remember to always fill up with the love, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.